This is Woodblock printmaker David Ball, speaking to you not from my usual location over in the quiet workshop in Ome, but from the print party room of our new shop in Asakusa. It's actually Saturday night here. I'm not sure if you can hear the noise from out in the street. I'm here today to bring you the eagerly awaited announcement of the next in our series of Ukiyo-e Heroes subscription prints, the set that designer Jed, Henry and I will be collaborating on through the course of 2015. We think we have a pretty good concept lined up for this one. It's admittedly a little bit different, but something that is totally rooted in the history of Japanese printmaking. Anybody who follows Jed's blog or websites knows that he is an inveterate sketcher. Keep him away from a pencil or brush for more than a few hours and his hands start to shake or something like that. He draws people, animals, figures real, figures imaginary, and the guy is just so good at it. His creations just come to life right there on the page. For someone like me, pretty well versed in the Japanese print tradition, seeing these sketches of his always reminds me of another crazy guy crazy about sketching, and that's Katsushika Hokusai. If you know anything at all about traditional Japanese prints, you've heard of Hokusai's manga. This was a set of small illustrated books published back in the early 1800s in Old Edo. They're not manga in the modern sense of comic books with a continuous story, but back here is where it all started. There's leaf after leaf of vivid, lively sketches scattered across the pages, all sharply cut by the carver's knife and of course hand-printed with the baron. They were done with a limited color palette, just a few light tints to flesh out the characters here and there. Nothing to get in the way of the main event, the vivid and lively brushwork and the stories being told. The books were bound in the traditional way, with a set of prints being folded over, enclosed between woodblock printed and embossed thick covers, and then tied with silk thread. Perhaps you can see where this is all going. Yes, today I can announce that our print set for 2015 will be the Henry Manga, Book 1. Over the course of a year, Jed will create a series of sketches and drawings, a long panorama actually, that we here in my workshop will cut and print onto washi pages that will be folded and tied together in the traditional binding style to create a beautiful volume. I said panorama, and this is perhaps the point to pass you over to Jed so that he can tell you about his plan for the images.
Hi everybody, I'm Jed Henry, the designer on this project. Dave and I have been collaborating for about 3 years now, and I'm so proud and really grateful to you guys for everything we've been able to accomplish. We've made some awesome prints, and I'm especially excited about this upcoming series. We have been planning it for years now, and it's finally happening. Instead of crafting a bunch of separate images, as we've done in the past, we're doing something different. We're creating an entire panorama that connects throughout the whole year. I've already created the first 4 months' designs, and the rest of the year is already charted out and sketched as well. You might recognize the characters here. Some we've parodied before, others are new to my brush, but they're all parodies from a certain fighting game that just came out, which shall remain unnamed, and I'm super addicted to it. It's been a lot of fun, and honestly just a little bit intimidating to follow in the steps of Hokusai manga. Hokusai's awesome, he's my hero. And I've been working really hard to incorporate just all the action and the humor and the supernatural craziness that Hokusai loved so much. And my designs turned out really well, I'm proud of them. I'm proud enough to call this thing Henry Manga. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun getting your designs in the mail every month. And Dave's going to tell you now how it's all going to come together. It's really cool.
It's going to take us a year to create this book, and at this point some of you might be wondering how this is all going to work. How can a single book volume work as a monthly subscription series? Well, we've worked out a way to make this happen. You have a couple of options when it comes to collecting the first set of Henry Manga designs. Option 1 is not as a book, but as a series of 12 single sheet prints, receiving them one each month through the course of the year as they are completed, just like last year's portrait series. You pay month by month as we go along. The price? $35, exactly the same as last year, even though the prints are double the size of the ones in the portrait series. Option 2 is the set in bound form, as we see in the dummy volume that I've made up here. You receive the beautiful book at the end of the year once all the designs have been completed. That would be my choice, of course. I love books, but are we really going to ask you to wait a full year before you receive anything? No, we've got you covered. We know that people would love to have the book, but they also want to have something month by month as the thing goes along. So here's how it's going to work. Most of the interest in a traditional Japanese print is in the key block lines. This is actually Jed's drawing itself put onto the piece of wood. So while our printers are making the actual copies of the prints that will later be bound into your copy of the book, we will have them take an extra impression from the key block, and these we will mail out every month during the course of the year to keep everybody involved with the course of the project. Subscribers to the book version thus get 2 copies of the whole thing: the single key block impressions month by month and the bound book at the end of the year. The price? Just $5 on top of the first option. Don't tell my printers I promised this, but that's the way I want to do this. So there you have it, our plan for the 2015 series. Our young carver, Noriko Kawasaki, is already nearing completion of work on the initial image in the set, which will then be prepared by our printers in time for publication and shipping at the beginning of January. The website is open from today and this URL, and we are now accepting reservations. This is going to be such a this series is going to be such a smack. Brother, this one is going to be fun. Just come and join us, please.